Hey y'all, today I'm going to show you a really quick and easy dinner. Takes no time at all. Cube steak. I don't have a recipe for it, it's just something that I've always done. They look like this when you buy them. Put you a little bit of grease in a skillet and cook them on both sides. You don't want them still bloody like this, still raw. So cook them almost completely done. And we're going to put these in gravy. And it's just a real simple gravy. I just bought canned gravy from Walmart. Sorry, I'm trying to show you, but try not to spill it either. Canned gravy is like $1 a can. And I bought these cube steaks from Aldi. I spent $15 just in the meat alone. But I also bought 12 steaks. I usually cook enough for my boys to have a good serving at supper and then eat lunch the next day, including my husband too. So that's why, a lot of reasons why I cook extra, but you could probably get by with just one pack, which is about $5. The gravy is $1 a can. So if you only had one pack of steaks, then you would just use the 1 can of gravy. And you can always make it even cheaper if you know how to make gravy from scratch, which I do, but I was looking for convenience. Turn these over in the skillet and I am salting and peppering them. If you want a little bit of a batter type consistency on them, you can roll them in flour and then do the exact same thing. Okay y'all, so now I've got the gravy in the pan. I drained most of the drippings, set them aside. You can always leave those in and make your own gravy. I decided to do this, more convenient. So I went ahead, I put the gravy in. It's not completely warmed up, it's just a little bit. And I'm gonna turn this on low and I'm gonna add back in my steak. Need for the gravy to kind of go from a simmer to little small bowl, not rolling bowl, but you know, really good and hot, and heat it through, and that should finish cooking them. There's enough gravy in here for the meat, and there's enough gravy for the mashed potatoes that I'm fixing to show you that I gotta make. While that is simmering, I'm gonna go ahead and make up the mashed potatoes. I peeled and boiled the potatoes until they were fork tender. You can use potato flakes, but if you don't want to and you want to use regular potatoes, it's not a problem at all. Just peel up a few potatoes, and then I've already melted the butter in this. I'm going to add a little bit of milk. This is almond milk, but you can add any type of milk. And brand new me, side by side by friends I need. And I don't really use that much milk at all, so everybody else don't, you know, they don't even notice. Hey, now that our names are written in stone, let's be honest, sounds like home. Still I'm here alone and I'm calling your phone. There's butter in here, a little bit of almond milk, or like I said, you can use regular milk. I wish I could dream about some pepper and salt to taste, and then that's it. I wish I could wipe my own memory out. I wish I could do something that will make sense. The finished product, I'll plate it up and ready to go. Really simple, easy, quick. Within 30 minutes or less, you could have this done if you followed my instructions on everything. And it's budget friendly. We're going to do a tiny bit complicated enchilada recipe. It's called salsa verde chicken cheese enchiladas. I went ahead and boiled my chicken because I like the convenience of that, where I can just throw it in a pan and go. But you can turn your chicken breasts over in a skillet and do it that way, cook them that way. But I wanted to make sure they were good and done, and so I did that, and I needed the broth. So what you see now is the broth left over from me boiling the chicken breast. I'm going to reserve that broth. I'm going to set it aside, and we're going to kind of make a roux because we're gonna make a cheese sauce. So just follow along and hopefully we'll get through this together. First thing you need to do is melt some butter. All your measurements will be down below. Okay, so our butter has melted. We need to add our flour.
I wish I could do something that will make sense. I wish I would know what you're thinking about. I wish I could wipe my own memory out.
I'm gonna add a little bit of our broth. Cup of salsa verde.
Take your time. You're not there, miss. Yeah, you might not be.
And it should be flavored like a chicken flavor with a little bit of Mexican flavor in there. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper to it just to kind of season it just a little.
How about when you can't see a way out? Help you fight and let you know that it won't always be this way. You will get there someday, babe.
So we added our salsa verde. We were only supposed to add a cup of that, and then now we're gonna add our heavy cream to this.
Don't take this the wrong way. I'm on your side through the worst days. I just have to say I miss my best friend. Seeing her smile, still I don't mind telling truths when you need to hear them. And be kind when that's what you prefer. How about when you can't see a way out? Help you fight and let you know that it won't always be this way. You will get there someday, babe. Feel the sun on your face. Visit Paris or Broadway and chill out on Sundays. Stop, just hold on a minute. This part is near.
Before we begin on everything, we're gonna try to heat our corn tortillas up. I don't know how this is gonna go because usually I use flour. So you're gonna learn along with me. So let me get this kind of hot. We have to be real careful.
On your face, visit Paris or Broadway and chill out on Sundays. It won't always be this way. You will get there someday, babe. Feel the sun on your face. Visit Paris or Broadway and chill out on Sundays.
So we're going to move from the stove, we're going to move over to the countertop, and we're going to start assembling. You can use white cheddar cheese for this. I couldn't find any, so I'm gonna just use a combo of Colby Jack and cheddar, regular cheddar. I personally, if it was me, I would just use whatever cheese I had. And I made an easier version of this before without a cream sauce, but I was trying to show you something a tiny bit more difficult, even though it probably could be a little bit more budget friendly. So we're just gonna go with what we can find at our nearby Aldi's, and we're just gonna try to make it work. Cheese. Wishing time could make it right. She is waiting. Dawn is bringing morning light. Some of our salsa verde. To end this fight. I'm just gonna roll these up like this. Dark blue ocean in the sea. Yesterday there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane. So now I'll put this sauce over everything. And now there's something in the air and a sparkly shimmer on our skin, restoring everything within. Dreamy, breezy we go, that's it. We put it in the oven and bake it for about 30 minutes. And let it stand for 10 before you serve. So this is the finished product. Like I said, we use cheddar instead of the white cheddar. I just use regular, so you can do any cheese that you want with this. I'm sure it'll taste good, and I tasted it. It tastes pretty good. So really simple. The only complicated part would be the white sauce. Another really simple recipe for y'all today. It's going to be ground beef Philly cheesesteak. I've already cooked my meat and set it aside. It was just a few pounds worth. And now I'm sauteing my onions, bell pepper, a little bit of Worcestershire sauce in here. I'm gonna add some steak seasoning. This is the steak seasoning that I use right here. This is some beef broth with a little bit of cornstarch in it, and put the drained hamburger meat back in, and then we'll let this simmer for several minutes. We'll check back with you in a second. Okay, y'all, so this is after everything has simmered, and basically the broth was either absorbed or it evaporated. I tasted it. It needed a little bit more steak seasoning in it, and then now I'm going to put my salt and pepper because it's definitely going to need that. But it does have a beefy flavor, so that's what we want. And put just a little bit of salt, a half a teaspoon maybe. Our family doesn't like a lot of salt, so just enough to season the food, and that's it. And that's all. It's ready to go. I'm going to get this out of the pan, and this is going to be one of those little messy sandwiches. It's going to be delicious. I've got some provolone we're going to put on it. It's going to be good. I do have a recipe down below that is loosely based on that recipe. But sometimes I try to change it for y'all so it'd make it a little bit easier and a little bit more budget minded, because that's what we do here on this channel. So I'll show you what it looks like plated out. So this is a really easy way that you can have Philly cheesesteak without the high cost of the steak, or getting those freezer steaks that they have that some people use. I use provolone cheese and just broiled it, put it in the broiler in the oven. You can use any type of cheese, or you can do some sort of Velveeta or Cheese Whiz or cheese sauce or anything like that. Real easy, simple, and perfect for your budget. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.